Ondo State, Nigeria is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the country. Ondo State has very intriguing tourist sites, and one of them is Igbo-olodumare Forest. Now, the Igbo-olodumare Forest is one interesting place any tourist would like to visit. This place is located in the ancient town of Igbo-olodumare, right there in Ondo State, southwest Nigeria. Now, the Igbo-olodumare Forest has a lot of stories about it that will make any tourist to want to visit this place. Igbo-olodumare means forest of God. Some call it God's forest. Some others call it forest of the gods. This place has been described as a place that has a lot of mysteries in it. But then, it contains rich cultural heritage that any visitor would like to see. But that's it. That's just it. Anyone who wants to visit Igbo-olodumare will have to first watch this video. And why is that? Now, much as Igbo-olodumare is one of the most exciting tourist destinations in fact, West Africa, there is something discouraging about this place. And you see, I've read articles that describe this place as already losing tourist attention and patronage. Having heard all about Igbo-olodumare, I decided to head to this place to see for myself the mysteries that are in this wonderful place called Igbo-olodumare. And then, when I landed in Igbo-olodumare ancient village, then came the disappointment. And this is what I think is contributing heavily to the lack of success of this particular forest as a growing tourist destination. I got to Igbo-olodumare, I was excited, having traveled through the thick forest, through the lonely road that leads to Igbo-olodumare village, only to get there and discover that I was a phone call behind schedule. And that's what I noticed. And what does that mean? When you get to this town, when you get to the mouth of Igbo-olodumare, you'll be thinking, hey, let me get in. But then there is a tour guide that you need to see. And what happens? You'll be expecting that the tour guide should be living in the village, in Igbo-olodumare ancient village, because of the distance from town to this place. In fact, Igbo-olodumare village is actually about 2 hours away from the state capital. Anyone who wants to go to Igbo-olodumare will actually go there just to see the forest. But when I got to that place, I was told that the tour guide was not around and that I was supposed to have called him first before coming to that place. I said, what? How am I supposed to know that I'm supposed to call him first? How am I supposed to get his phone number? It's not like they have a website. So I'm now at Igbo-olodumare, but I didn't see the tour guide. There's a special tour guide that is supposed to lead me, but he's not here today, so I'll just take a look at the town. And this is Igbo-olodumare. The forest is back there, but I can't have access because the tour guide, special tour guide, is not here. Okay, see, the bitter thing about this thing is that I was told that I should call him first. That they gave me a phone number that I should call him and he will give me an appointment. He will tell me when to come, maybe the next day or something. And I said, do they actually know the distance I took to come to this place? The risk of traveling. Okay, let's look at the road. Look at my journey to this place. And that is my anger. Now I'm showing you this journey to understand that if this is how Igbo-olodumare is expected to grow and become one of the best tourist sites in the entire West Africa, that's not going to happen. Look at the journey. Look at what you expected to travel twice. You know, in all the places I've been to, I've never had this kind of, would I say, this kind of scare on the road. But hey, I was excited because I was going to see the forest I've been seeing online. But I said, how am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to get this man's number and call him first before entering the forest? I said, okay, does he not have an assistant in the village that can take me into the forest? I was told, no, he is the only one that will lead you into the forest. That was sad. I hope you're still watching the journey. I had to take a bike from Okeibo Express, not Okeibo town, because I passed through from Akure. I stayed in Akure, and then you have to travel from Akure to Ondo City, and then to the express that leads to Ife. Then you stop at Okeibo Junction, and that was where I boarded this bike. And this bike, I don't even want to say the amount I was charged. And then the bike took me into Igbo-olodumare. I thought it was just a journey that you would just move in and then come out. And I was traveling only to get to this place. And I was told that the tour guide will have to be called, and then you call the person and book a date. I said, you don't have a website for this particular place, so that if somebody wants to come to Igbo-olodumare, the person will go and browse and see the tour guide's phone number and call him and book a date before coming. This is not a place you get to and then you go back and start coming the next day. I'm not being sponsored by the United Nations to do a research in Igbo-olodumare Forest. So this is it. We want to be a top tourist destination in Africa. We want to diversify the economy and make tourism one of the big earners for the country, just like you have in Egypt. And this is how we do that. The tour guide, I was told, stays in town. Of course, town is not Akure town. Town should be Okeibo town. And Okeibo town is not even close to Igbo-olodumare. You will still take serious bike, travel a distance before you get to Igbo-olodumare. And look at the atmosphere. Look at the route that you take into this ancient city called Igbo-olodumare for you to get there, and then here that you have to make a call to tell the tour guide that you're going to this place. I actually know that some persons must have passed through what I passed through. They got to the town, they couldn't get the tour guide, and then they had to go back. In fact, if you go to YouTube and then check any video you see entitled "My Visit to Igbo-olodumare" or "My Tour in Igbo-olodumare," know that the person's actual plan was to get into the forest, but because the person came and couldn't meet the tour guide, the person decided to now say a tour of this village. No, in fact, I watched a video where a particular lady who owns a channel, YouTube channel, was talking about her tour in Igbo-olodumare, and then in the video she now mentioned how they called the tour guide. They got there, they couldn't meet the tour guide. They now called the tour guide, and he said he was coming. He'll be coming in the next 20 minutes, but he didn't show up. That was just one video I watched. So I think some persons must have passed through the same pain, come to this place, but they couldn't gain access into the forest. And I said, okay, show me the route to enter the forest. That is if there's a gate or the track road that leads to the forest, so that I can at least record that place, record myself in front of that track road to show that I got to this place. But they said no way. They were so afraid that they couldn't even show me the entrance to the forest, because they said he is the only person, this tour guide is the only person that can show you how to get into the forest. And he was not in the village, he was in town. So you have to go to town, call him. Which town? How do you move? Look at the distance. I'm still traveling, just keep watching the bike. So that is it. I also made some calls, and I was told that some casual workers, I think the tour guides, most of them in the state are casual workers, maybe something like part-time or so, that are being owed now, so they have to do other things to earn a living now. But if you're not interested in the job, what you do is find an assistant, or you say I'm no longer interested, than keeping people stranded. Whenever they come to the town, they can't have access to Igbo-olodumare Forest. Not just me, go online, check, you will see videos where people, at least I've seen one video, somebody was talking about not having access because the tour guide was not there. They told me to go to his house when I got to the village, and look at, that's it, that's his house. I went to his house, I checked, he wasn't there, and I was told he is in town. He doesn't actually stay here that often. So I'm here at Igbo-olodumare, but I cannot enter inside because the person that is in charge is not around, and I'm being told to come again, but that's not going to happen. They saw the distance, and the place is still inside there, but no other person enters there. So I'm here at the man's house, but you can see he's not around. His house is not around, so I just have to leave. I could not gain access to Igbo-olodumare Forest. So if you're a tourist from any part of the world and you want to visit Igbo-olodumare Forest, you have to first of all call the tour guide. Find a way to get his number. So don't make the mistake I made. So what you do is, when you get into town, maybe when you get to Okeibo, or of course you have to get to Okeibo to ask that question. Then you ask the bike people there or transport people there who is in charge of the Igbo-olodumare Forest. Probably they know where he stays. They will not take you to his house. Then you book a date. Probably it won't be that day. You go back to town, wherever you're lodging, you come the next day. What a luxury. This is a forest. It's a forest that you're going to promote. It's not like I'm doing sports betting, maybe football betting, and I'm going into that forest to get correct scores so that I'll go and bet and then, win short odds and then win big. No, I am going to promote the forest. This thing they tell you, content creator. He visited here, You are promoting those places. And then you travel. I'm still traveling. Look at the journey. And then you travel this far. You can't get into the forest because you need to pass through 5 PAs to get to an SA that will not get to tour guide in chief, who will not give you a book a date with you so that you can come and visit Igbo-olodumare Forest. Of course, in that same state, Ondo State, you have one of the biggest tourist sites in the entire country, and that is the Idore Hills. Anytime you get to Idore Resort, that is the entrance to the Idore Hills, you have not less than 5 tour guides waiting for you. Well-organized place. Waiting for you. You pick one of them, you discuss with the person, and then the person will take you up. That's after you must have paid the staff, the government staff there and others. These people will take you to the hill. Now, Igbo-olodumare Forest is not really close to town. So you shouldn't be talking about going there, not seeing the tour guide. And all. What if I had come with friends from outside the country? This is what you would have done. See, we're saying we need to do things right. You need to play your own part. If government is owing you, if government is not doing their own, play your own part. Okay, now I came, I didn't see him, government lost revenue. Some persons have come, they won't see you, government lose revenue. If you're not interested, you just say, I'm not doing it again, or you have an assistant who will still play that role for you. But this is one man in charge of the forest, in charge of playing that function of tour guide, yet he stays in town, far away from the village.
So I'm leaving. I couldn't get to the forest. So I'm heading back to town.
So this is like a heads up to tourists across the world. You don't have to head to Igbo-olodumare Forest except you watch this video. And what will you pick from this video? That you need to put a phone call through to whoever that is in charge of that forest before you can gain access into the forest. Sad. Sad indeed.